Welcome back. So we basically continue to follow this story because nobody else seems to be interested, which is bizarre. How did Ilhan Omar get all that money? How did Ilhan Omar, a Minnesota congressman originally from Somalia, grow her net worth from $65,000 in 2020 to over $30 million today? This is so bizarre. We don't know why other people aren't asking these same questions, especially after a program she founded called Feeding Our Future was swindled, hoodwinked out of $250 million by three Somalians who have already been charged from her district. Joining us now for more, the perfect panel to talk about all of this. Host of the Ben Ferguson Show, Ben Ferguson, former special assistant to President Biden and former press secretary to the First Lady, Michael LaRosa, and former New York Congressman George Santos. It is great to have you all on tonight. Congressman Ilhan Omar, right, your former colleague, Democrats and Republicans had no problem looking into you. They had no problem expelling you from the House. Ilhan Omar allegedly creates this program. Well, she did create it. We know that. And then Somali immigrants allegedly steal $250 million. Why isn't this being investigated? Why doesn't the House seem to care?
Well, it's important to note, Rob, that it's great being here with you, but it's important to note that this was not a secret, even when I was under investigation. And I brought this up several times, very much like I brought up Sheila McCormick's case of stealing $5 million from FEMA. Unfortunately, the Merrick Garland DOJ was uninterested in investigating or prosecuting Democrats. That's a fact. They came after me for straw donating $55,000 to my campaign, which is illegal. I committed the crime. I'm very self-aware of I'm not an angel or a saint, but they ignored members of Congress who have done far worse to the tunes of millions of defrauding Americans. And I'm so glad to see that Attorney General Pam Bondi is pulling away the green curtain and showing what's behind the scenes and finally doing something. I think the reality behind it, it's partisan. A partisan DOJ like the Merrick Garland DOJ was not interested in weakening the very small margin that they had in the House. So they turned a blind eye.
Yeah, I'm puzzled because Republicans control everything right now, and they might not in a year. Michael, what's your take on this?
Yeah, well, Republicans own every branch of government right now. They could start a investigation in the House Ethics Committee. Mike Johnson could do that today. They have the majority. It's up to them. But, you know, I think Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey and Hunter Biden would take issue with the fact of that Biden DOJ not going after Democrats, one of them sitting in a jail cell right now.
Congressman, you want to respond
and
to
that? And the other one pardoned at home because he's the son of the president. And Menendez, a man who had a 10-year string of corruption accusations, is no surprise he's sitting in a cell, right? Gold bars, cars, beach houses. I mean, to ignore all of that, obviously Merrick Garland couldn't do anything about it because Menendez was so sloppy. And remember that he had already had a hung jury in similar charges years prior during the Trump administration. So don't say that Menendez is a product of the DOJ under Biden. He's a product of his a decade-long corruption.
Decades-long corruption.
Bob Gold Bar Menendez. It's awful.
So what went wrong during the 4 years Trump was president? So what went wrong during the first Trump administration? Why
he
did they
had
go
a hung
after
jury.
him?
They took him to task and he had a hung jury. And then they went again and they took him down.
All right, let me bring Ben in. There's another part to this story, and it's another part that Democrats are uncomfortable with, and I don't know why. So, Ben, let's just say there was a rumor out there that you married your brother, okay?
Yeah.
That's the rumor when it comes to Ilhan Omar, that you married her brother. Wouldn't you do everything in your power to prove that's not true? Why hasn't she done that?
I think because there's a very good chance the story may actually be true. You notice she's
Michael,
not out there saying,
I don't know why you're
you?
laughing. Michael's laughing.
Right.
I don't get it. If there was a rumor that you married your brother, documentation, marriage certificate, you'd hold a press conference with your brother. She's a member of Congress. Ben, I want you to finish your thought, but I think you would do everything in your power to prove this rumor to be not true if that was circulating about you.
It should be easy, by the way.
Ben, go ahead. Ben, go ahead.
No, I think it's easy to prove, right? This is one of those situations where you can fix this in a moment with documentation. And this is a feisty person that has no problem yelling and getting them in people's faces and screaming. I mean, she's not someone that's bashful. But on this issue, she's like a mute. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't mention it. She doesn't take any of the bait. It's the same reason why I think she's not talking about all the money she's made, the millions of dollars. And you go back to how the hell did you go from having, 5 figures to bam, 7 figures in a couple of years? I'll tell you why. It's corruption. And the reason why no one's really talking about it too much in D.C. is because it happens on both sides of the aisle. And there's far too many people in Congress, Republicans and Democrats, like, hey, I'm not getting in on this one. I don't want any part of this, because they're getting rich doing the same thing she's doing. I want them all to come down. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. If you're insider trading, if you're trading off information that you have that Americans don't have, you should go to jail. I go back to Martha Stewart. If we put Martha Stewart in jail for what she did, I think more than 50% of Congress would go to jail.
Yeah, poor Martha Stewart, by the way. Congressman, I know you served with Jasmine Crockett in Congress, and I think that people in Texas, and I want to hear Ben on this as well, but the Democrats, I think Republicans need to take her a lot more seriously. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think to underestimate Jasmine Crockett is to elevate Jasmine Crockett. Let me make this very clear. When we were in freshman orientation, I actually got along with Jasmine Crockett, where we were both having a similar issue of our predecessors leaving a office with a gargantuan lease and a gargantuan monthly rent payment. I think hers was like 15 grand a month. Mine was 10. And we were trying to fight this within the rules of how to get out of these leases that we didn't sign. Let me tell you one thing. The Jasmine Crockett I used to talk to did not sound like the one today. She's such a great performer. She's convinced me that she's always spoken this way. So to ignore her is to give her power. And Democrats in Texas are well organized, and we've seen them try to inch and inch, but they've kept using the wrong pawn, which was Beto O'Rourke. This is a much better, more eloquent politician that can actually cause some level of a threat to us, especially that we're going to have a bloody Republican primary. So do not sleep on Jasmine Crockett. That's my advice.
Okay, Michael, just a quick one. I've never heard you respond to this, but, Kamala Harris was in the New York Times quite a bit this week. I think she's going to run for president again. You work for Jill Biden. Did Jill Biden like Kamala Harris?
She liked Kamala Harris just fine, I think.
Michael, did Jill Biden like Kamala Harris?
Secretary. That was like the best press secretary acting job I've ever seen. Put him on the West Wing. That was amazing.
That was very good. I'll ask it one more time. Does Jill Biden like Kamala?
In that story, when Harris said Shapiro did so many off-putting things, it reminded me of my old boss, who may have been a little off-put from her debate performance when she called her husband a racist, but we still picked her anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Hope to have you all back.
Ask me the same question. Ask me the same question. I'm going to answer it. They hate each other. They hate each other.
No.
They don't seem to like each other. And I think Michael might agree with that when we're off camera. We'll find out. George Santos, Michael LaRosa, Ben Ferguson, appreciate y'all being here tonight. Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.